A regular contributor to the show on a Friday afternoon, Tanya Unkovich. Tanya, kia ora. Happy Friday to you.
And happy Friday to you as well, Andrew.
Tanya, I must say I'm a little bit nervous about today's topic because it is titled Getting Honest. The first thought that pops into my mind is, have you been dishonest with me all of these years?
No. I spill my guts, people say to me. They say I really spill my guts, so I don't have an issue with it. But, the hardest thing is getting honest with ourselves.
It really is, honestly, because, look, we put so much energy, and you and I have talked about this beforehand, we sometimes put a lot of energy into pretending that we've got our act together when deep down we know that we haven't. And gosh, what a waste of energy that is, especially for people that are really close to us. But even worse is if we are lying to ourselves and we're pretending that things are different than they are, and particularly if we've got bad habits which we're not being honest about. Gosh, you're never going to break the habit if you're not even honest about it being a problem in the first place.
No, that is so true. And the thing is, you're never quite at peace with yourself. If you know you're projecting something else out there to the world, but deep down you know that, that's actually not the truth, and this is how it really is for me, then you're just escalating the unease and the shame that you carry. You're just making it worse. So the way to really release yourself is to just get honest with everyone else, but most importantly, start with you.
It's one of the really liberating things about being a Christian, actually, is knowing that God knows every single detail about who we are when nobody else is looking, and He has decided to love us anyway. That can be really freeing.
Very much so. And, sharing something personal, when I was a young teenager, struggling with self-worth and struggling with loving myself and accepting myself for who I am because I felt so flawed, I would often in my prayer just say, Lord, one thing I know for certain is that you love me. So help me to feel a little bit of that love today. And that really did work. That was just one of the most powerful things that I could have done, was for Him to show me how much He loved me. And that really helped me then get honest with myself and with others.
And sometimes you may feel like God is the only one that loves you, but it's that foundation stone in which you can build the confidence and self-esteem that you need to face some of life's problems and challenges.
Yes, and repetition, right? Doing that every single day. If you do that every single day, it will come naturally, and then that self-respect and self-worth will come naturally, and then you won't mind telling others what is really going on for you, because you would have healed that.
Exactly. Now, there's two sides to this coin, of course. We can be the importance of being honest about who we are in terms of boosting our self-esteem. But if we do have problems, if we have dirty little secrets that we're trying to keep hidden, and I was talking beforehand about addiction, reminds me that the most important part of being in an AA meeting or any other addictive counselling process is you stand up at the beginning and you tell the truth. You say, hello, my name is, and then you declare the addiction which currently has a control of your life. You say, I am an alcoholic. When you speak the truth, that is the beginning of freedom.
Yes, step one is acceptance. Absolutely. And whether it be alcohol, whether it be food or any other substances or a behaviour, number one, get honest with yourself. And, that is the beginning of that healing process, as I talked about before, healing that shame. And, some people think, oh, look, it's not really that bad. It's not really that bad. But actually, unless you stop and take an inventory of your life today and the consequences of those habits, you'll never know. You've got to be really honest.
You mentioned food beforehand, and hey, that's one that's possibly overlooked a little bit because, alcohol or drug addiction, or if there's a pornography problem or anything like this, we kind of know it's bad, but food is made by God to bless us. We all need food to some extent. I suppose it's the misuse of food. It's having an unhealthy relationship with food. Sometimes we need to be honest about that.
Oh, very much so. And that was my journey from a teenager. And the thing about food is that you still have to face it every single day. It's not like alcohol and another substance. You can just say no more. But boy, that process on having that relationship with food change and heal is a really, really big one. And people carry a lot of shame about that because it's like, well, how come I can't control how much I eat? Even a 4-year-old can do it, yet I can't do it as an adult. So there's so much healing and so much shame around that. And, I invite anyone who's feeling that right now just to let it go and get honest with yourself, because unless you do that first step, you'll be stuck.
Where does that first step lead us? Because it's one thing to say, and hey, let's follow this example. It's one thing to say, hey, actually, I have a self-destructive relationship with food. That's been said out loud. How does that help us make better choices and be in a better space following on from that? Tanya?
It really does help, because once you actually voice it out loud, it does take some of that shame away, and especially if you share it with another person. Excuse me. If you start talking to another person about that, then, start talking to other people who've got the same problem, and you realize it's not only you. And that's one of the things that keeps us stuck, is we think I'm the only one that's got this food problem. But no, it is so common, and especially with lockdowns and everything that everyone's been through in these last couple of years, it's really escalated. So forgive yourself, be compassionate with yourself, and know that by just making a decision today that it's going to be baby steps from now on. And it doesn't need to be perfect in a week. It's not going to be a magic fix, but make that decision. Say yes to you instead of to the extra food. And
it is that important balance, isn't it? Because if there is a stumbling in that area, yes, we can be honest about ourselves, but if there's a weakness in a certain area, we don't need to get into the space where we use it as an opportunity to beat ourselves up because we have failed, because we have stumbled in this area. This doesn't make us a bad person, certainly doesn't make us unlovable.
Well, it makes us human, and that's why I always say to everyone, especially the people I work with food issues, you must live one day at a time, because one day you are going to make a not-so-good choice and you'll feel full and uncomfortable. Doesn't mean you have to binge for the rest of the week and then start again on Monday. Forgive yourself. Get up the next day and start again. One day at a time, it says in the Bible.
It makes good song lyrics as well. I mean, Tanya, you mentioned this is a service that you provide for people, and it is so important, actually. Yes, it's great to be honest to ourselves, but having somebody else, perhaps even somebody who isn't an immediate friend or family member, but somebody that we can be accountable to, who can coach us through some of those difficult areas or those stumbling blocks in life. This is what you do. This is where you really are a help, coming alongside people who are struggling in this space.
Yes, and there are so many free resources on my YouTube channel or on my website, and I've even got a Facebook group specific for people with eating issues. So if and that's one way you can actually really get that community and feel part of something, because we've all got the same stuff. We're just on a different way there. So go to my YouTube channel, and there's lots of interviews that you and I have done, or Di and I have done on this issue, addiction and food stuff. Go and take a listen, and there's plenty there to help you along. But
you can also be a part of that Facebook community, an accountability community there as well. Of course, it all starts with being able to spell Unkovic. TanyaUnkovic.com, that is the place to go, and from there people can access a whole bunch of those online resources as well.
Absolutely, you sure can.
Tanya, thank you so much for the encouragement that you bring to so many. Thank you for your ministry, and thank you so much for joining us on the program today.
It is always my pleasure.